PSG, right?
I think we should cover the Madrid derby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I don't want to be in the wrong side of the devil.
Should we start straight off with Alvarez? Like, no other discussion. Alvarez penalty war.
Well, you tell me. There is only so much you can hide behind.
See, to
Oh
be,
no, refereeing is unfair. Oh no, La
to
Liga
be
is treating us differently. At some point, you have to put your hand up and say, yes, we are the devil's favorite child.
to be genuinely honest, there are two narratives. One, Paris went against UEFA. Everybody has to remember that and created a whole new competition. And right now, there are many people claiming that UEFA and Paris are on the same side. Somehow they're all friends again, and they're all helping each other out, which doesn't make any sense to me, because you can choose only one of these theories. Either the one thing that we all know is he did create something called the European Super League and went against the UEFA's entire system. So so yeah, I don't know. See, as like any fan, I was also confused looking at Alvarez penalty getting ruled out. I'm not gonna admit that I knew all the rules and I know that it was double touch and everything. So nobody knew. I also didn't know. But rules are rules. UEFA released a
Yeah,
statement. I'm gonna
that's
back
what
it.
the English
I'm gonna
cricket
back it up
fans
with my
said
life.
after the World
So
Cup.
yeah,
2019 World Cup, that's what the English fans said as, hey, I didn't
yeah.
know about this, but rules are rules. As long as it's convenient to me, what do I care? And we also have a question. I want to know, is Ajay Liverpool fan or Real Madrid fan? Well, I guess for this week, I'm going to say he's a Real Madrid fan.
Yes, for this week for sure, I'm a Real Madrid fan. I support. I'm a Real Madrid fan who likes and supports Liverpool in the Premier League, which can be very odd, but it is what it is. If only Liverpool had defeated PSG, I'd be tempted to go the other way too. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they
I
made a
defeated
very
Anfield, so I'm a Real Madrid fan for today. So we won at Wanda, so we'll see.
it's just insane, man. I think at some point, Atletico has to set aside some part of their transfer budget, just hire Professor Snape, defense against the dark arts. Because how do you
I think, did you
counter
think
this
of this for a
force?
while now? Did you think of this one line for like 3 days now?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
I
meme that
wanted Real Madrid to
the
win
meme that I like
controversially.
is Real Madrid won, Atletico Madrid lost. Those who are crying, everybody knows the ones that are crying. And I swear, Simeone till he lost, didn't know that he had these many fans across the globe. Like he loses, and everybody is claiming to be a Simeone fan and a sympathizer who has like followed him throughout his entire career, week by
Excuse
week.
me,
So
some of us have.
okay, I do believe that. But
If you're
tomorrow,
not,
tomorrow, if he loses in La Liga, you wouldn't care. But
I
yeah,
wouldn't.
fun of
Like it's
fun.
like Liverpool. How Liverpool is your second team? Mine just happens to be our own title rivals, FCB and Atletico.
I think having a second team in one single league is that is something else. I don't want to talk about it. I have a team in another league, which is different. So yeah,
Well, I mean, it's like I don't know, having an hey, I have an affair, but the other person is also married. You have an affair, this person's not. Well, it's all taboo anyway. It is
but
what
you
it is.
you you tell me honestly, do you genuinely think Atleti would have won the shootout if
I
Alvarez?
genuinely thought Atletico was not going to win the shootout. That's what I was
Yeah.
screaming in the
I
group
don't know
channel.
why. See, the game happened in their own backyard, and I
Yeah,
thought they had to win it within 120 minutes
yeah.
or 90 minutes or whatever
Mhm.
to beat us, because they have lost a shootout before to us in the Champions League, and they don't have a good history of shootouts against us. I think in general in the Champions League, I think they've been eliminated like 3-4 times in shootouts.
Oh yeah, I think they've
If
been
I'm not
involved in
wrong.
the most shootouts, like 5 out of 8 shootouts.
Yes,
They
something
have
like that,
been
something like that,
involved.
because
Yeah,
they don't have a good history. And when it
yeah.
went to penalties, I immediately know. And for some reason, you look at their penalty takers, and even Alvarez, he doesn't have much experience in taking a penalty, and Griezmann has missed a crucial penalty for them before. And I was thinking like, they just don't have enough personnel out
Designated
there.
penalty takers, people who have that elite mentality under pressure,
Yeah,
right? You're spot on. And I actually think Oblak's one of the finer, weaker aspects of his game is penalty shootouts.
Yeah.
I think like you were one of the biggest benefactors of that in the last shootout. Guy was literally standing in the middle for all 5 penalties that Madrid took. I'm like, no, even my grandma could
I
have
also
done
think I
better.
also think age has gotten a bit. I know. Even at his prime, he was never really a penalty shootout stopper or something like that. But I feel age has definitely gotten to him, and you just look at him and you don't think he's going to make that dive and save that
Yeah,
anything that
on
goes in the
time.
corner.
Yeah,
If somebody's
absolutely.
going to put it in the corner, it
Mhm.
just feels like he's not going to dive.
Yeah,
With with Courtois, I don't know, maybe because he has extra height or whatever, he just
yeah.
feels he's just that little bit more agile to like go on and stop like a couple of penalties.
No,
With
absolutely. You're spot on. Like, this is nothing new, right? Courtois has been doing this from when he was at Atletico Madrid,
yeah,
Chelsea, and of course now Real Madrid.
I
He
think
is one
one
of
sorry,
the.
sorry. One thing I think people didn't notice, and which is very important, is for Mbappe, that was a huge, huge penalty because he missed that penalty versus Athletic Bilbao, and that cost us points. That could eventually cost us the La Liga title if it comes to 2 3 points or whatever. He missed that penalty versus Switzerland in the European Championship, so he doesn't have good history with penalties, and for him, this is a very crucial penalty, and he has scored a lot of goals recently, but he's still settling in. The fan base is still. It's not like they're
Yeah,
completely in
warming up
love with
to
him
him. Yeah,
or
he's
whatever. And
still like he blows hot and cold. Definitely much better than what he was in the first half of the season. But even
yeah,
this Madrid derby, I would say he had an absolute stinker,
yeah,
despite winning the penalty, which Vinicius ended up sending to
yeah. It,
Venus.
it feels like he was always on the periphery in this game. Like I never saw him get involved even for like 5 minutes throughout the game. So if he had missed that penalty, he would have come under a lot of fire from the fans because both the legs he did not score. Sorry, did he score? Yeah, I think both the legs he did not score. So did he score in the first leg?
I think he did. I think he did. Yeah.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure, but that was not a good performance from him, and
Yeah,
I
clearly,
was a
like it
bit,
doesn't stand out, right? Even if he
yeah,
had
yeah, yeah,
scored. Yeah.
yeah. I just
Um,
felt that
yeah.
that was a big penalty for him. Once he scored that penalty, I felt like the entire team they just
Yeah.
had that little bit more confidence that we're gonna win
Yeah.
the shootout. So,
Mm.
so yeah.
Uh, but like, let's take a step back from the penalties. So, how much of this would you honestly chalk it up to luck, good fortune, because Alvarez call went in their way? But you could also argue that Atletico shouldn't have come this far because if Vinny had scored his penalty in regulation time, Real Madrid would have already been through. So, do you think Madrid once again got lucky considering how dominant Atleti was throughout the game?
We definitely got lucky. I'm not going to pretend like uh, the thing in football is I never believe those who say we deserve to win 3 points. If we had outplayed Atleti and we had been knocked out because of us missing a penalty and in a shootout, I wouldn't claim that Real Madrid deserved to go through or whatever. There is no such in football. There is no such thing as like you deserve to go through. You get see 120 minutes of football. Atleti created more chances than us, yes, but I don't think Atleti completely outplayed us for that 120 minutes. We were comfortable even during extra time. We didn't go searching for that goal because I think in the back of his mind, Ancelotti knew and the players knew that Atleti is not going to score another goal in the shootout. It just felt like it just felt like they did not commit that one extra player, that two extra player required to score that extra goal and finish the game off before going for a shootout. This has always been the case with Simeone, and this is why he tried changing his system. He tried moving away from his 4-4-2. He tried changing from his astute defensive block and everything because he wanted to score more goals and finish off games. So he has come back again to his 4-4-2 because Alvarez is performing extremely well. He's scoring goals, and obviously he thought Alvarez will bail them out again in the second leg. It's just that see we are the reigning champions, so we don't have to like commit that extra man and do it because we already won the last edition. For Atleti, they have never won it. They are the ones who should have committed that extra
Oh,
person,
I
just
think,
attacked more.
yeah.
I know you're gonna say the defensive structure you might have to compromise and everything, which means Mbappe and Vinicius could be in, but you need to if you keep saying oh, the other team has Mbappe and Vinicius, that is why I'm going to
Mm.
defend. You're not going to win. You're not going to win the Champions League. I don't think
That's
anybody has won the Champions League with that kind of mindset. So
Yeah, I agree with you in part where you talk about Atleti committing an extra player, but not because they haven't won the Champions League, but because, like you said, Madrid have been here year after year, right? They won from 1% chance against City and whatnot. So the longer any football match drags on, Real Madrid will end up benefiting. It doesn't matter how well they are playing, as long as the score line is even. If the game is at 60, you know it's probably still at 50-50. At 70, Madrid has a 60% edge. As you keep dragging on, they know how to dig themselves deep. And Madrid's quality is also on another level compared with Atletico. I know they have a very good bench with players like Sorloth, or even Alvarez comes off the bench on another day, but they don't have that creative midfielder who can unlock defenses. Somebody like Dani Olmo, this is what he does for Barca. Or even somebody like Ferran Torres. When the players are tired, there are two ways that you can break down a defense. One is get pacey players and just let them run at a tired defense, which is exactly what Real Madrid does with Enrique or Rodrigo. But if Sorloth is going to be your super sub, that's not really the way that you can play your game. Correa is fast, but he's still not the paciest winger out there. And the second option is have a creative midfield, players who are good with ball on their feet, who can break down the defenses with a killer pass. Just look at Atleti's midfield, man. You have Rodrigo De Paul, Conor Gallagher, and
Pablo
Barrios.
Barrios.
Yeah, that's as rigid a midfield as it can get. It's good when you are trying to defend a lead. In fact, it could be the best midfield for defending leads, but they had to come out and win this game because Madrid had the advantage from Bernabeu. I think it still comes down to personnel. There is only so much Simeone can do in terms of tweaking. They just didn't have any answers. They couldn't commit an extra man in midfield because they don't have that,
That little bit of flair you're
flair
talking about.
flair
But
and
to be
creativity.
honest, see, that is the weakness of Simeone. Like, he doesn't buy players like that. The only time he tried is Felix, and that didn't go well at all. He was not able to coach him. And the truth is, I know people are going to say Felix had attitude issues and everything. I'm the biggest critic of him with regards to attitude issues and everything. But Simeone was not able to coach him either. Simeone was not able to get him to the next level where he's scoring 20 goals a season. The ones that are doing it, Alvarez and maybe Solat is going to score 20 goals the next season. It's just that they just don't have that little bit of creativity that is going to open up defenses in games like this. And Madrid knew, and I know you're going to say Madrid struggled. That is one way of looking at it. They did struggle, but they knew that they can suffer through the extra time and just go to penalty shootout, and they knew that they
Yeah.
will have the
I
advantage.
mean, like, I hate it, man. I hate it more than anyone, but at some point, you just gotta give credit. They know even if you throw the kitchen sink at them,
Yeah,
they're not going to break. You can argue all you want about how shaky the Real Madrid defense is, but when push comes to shove the likes of Rudiger or even Vasquez and Courtois more than anybody else, they bail this team out on a daily basis, weekly basis. And shout out to Raul Asensio as well. He's been going under the radar. And
he, he's
him
been he has
and
been
Fran
he's been really
Garcia
good.
are two players that are really, really good. I think they can be like that defensive duo for Madrid for the next decade to come. Uh, so I'm not even going to complain. That's all I'm trying to say.
A very
Unless you
special
put the
shout out
ball
to
in.
sorry, a very special shout out to Kamavinga, who came on and off the ball. I think he's second to none in the world right now. Off the ball, on the ball, I think he didn't do anything. So he has a tendency to try something stupid on the ball, and that is why Ancelotti doesn't start him in many of these big games. So today he didn't try anything off the ball. Some of his tackling off the ball today it was as good as it can possibly get, and he had a very good. I think it was more than a cameo, I would say, but yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, but again, Valverde, you can just go on and on over the same players. But
Yeah.
two players I would keep mentioning is Valverde and Asensio, because Asensio at this age, he just had to in the start of the season, he was not in anybody's plans, to be honest. And in the right in the middle of the season, he has been just thrown in the limelight always, all these big games, and he has done extremely well. He has done extremely well for
Absolutely.
himself. So
Yeah. Well, I guess that should be a wrap on the Madrid derby and
I
move
think
on
all our
to
theories, sorry,
yeah.
just to finish it off,
Mm,
all our theories of Madrid being comfortable and shootout and everything, all this could go wrong in the next, like in the quarterfinal, because that is the beauty of knockout competitions. Any knockout competition,
yeah.
we're going to say, oh, they looked very comfortable. Like the next time at Bernabeu, Arsenal could come and score a goal in extra
That's
time and just
true.
win it.
Yeah.
And we
That's
could,
what yeah.
Ancelotti could get blamed for being too conservative and
Yeah.
never really trying anything. Just like Simeone, we are blaming Simeone. It could all turn on
That would be
Ancelotti the
nice.
next leg, because Ancelotti is
Mhm.
not trying anything either.
Yeah.
It's not like Ancelotti put everybody, Guler, Diaz, Mbappe. It's not like he put everybody in and tried something very creative.
Yeah.
So it's like
You
one
just
of them
look like a
escaped.
genius when it comes off, man.
Yeah, it looks like one of them escaped and one of them got caught today.
Yeah.
But the next time against Arteta, who is also probably very happy sitting back, so you never know what's going
The
to happen
most
in extra
anal
time.
pragmatic coach out there today in top.
We will see. We will see. Many are saying that he's more pragmatic. I don't watch Arsenal game. Many are saying he's more pragmatic than Simeone himself these
Wow.
days. We'll see. I don't know. We will see. We will see what it turns out.
Yeah.
But that is the
Yeah,
beauty of
it's going
knockout
to be an
competition. All our
interesting game.
theories could become false
Yeah, that's true.
in like
And
2 weeks.
Arsenal also has the advantage of being the absolute underdogs. Even with Atleti, given how close La Liga has been and the fact that the second leg was at Wanda, people actually gave them decent chance. I know none of us on the stream did. I predicted a 3-0 victory to Real Madrid. How wrong was I? We'll also
I
come
think
to
that
the
you did
next
with
game.
vengeance, but yeah, that you did with.
Spite. Let me jinx it. Maybe if I say 3-0, Atleti will
3
shit
0.
out
I don't think
over.
anybody predicted a 3-0. There is definitely something behind predicting a 3-0, but we'll see.
I did
I
think
think we
that
will. Let's end
because
the Madrid,
Atleti had to
Madrid
score
derby
a
right
goal,
here.
I thought they will be far more open. But because they ended up scoring that goal in the first minute, that completely changed the complexion of the game. I knew I
True.
was doing it in an underhanded fashion, but I did think Real could have easily won 3-0 if it weren't for the early Atleti goal. Anyway, with Arsenal, nobody's going to give them a chance. The second leg is at the Bernabeu. Arsenal's playing with 4 left backs. They have a billion issues right now. So let's see how it turns out. It's gonna be a fun watch for me as a neutral. I'm definitely not going to be expecting anything out of Arsenal like how I did with Atleti for a number of reasons. Uh, that takes us to Premier League and your second favorite club, Liverpool PSG.
My
I,
second favorite club and my second favorite ground to just sit and watch football, even if it's in laptop. It's not like I go to Anfield every week, but yeah, uh, it was. I think the atmosphere was questionable. I'm going to start with I'm going to start with a bit of controversy because I think the atmosphere was questionable. I don't think it was good atmosphere. This is not the Anfield that I've seen a lot of games, to be honest. There was a time when I used to watch every single game that happened in Anfield purely because of the crowd. Um, this was not a good atmosphere. I'm saying this because they were trialing for a long time in the match, and I felt like the crowd never really got 100% into it for like 3-4 minutes consistently supporting the team and chanting for like it was happening here and there. It was happening for like 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then the crowd became silent again. I felt like there was a point in time in the game by the Paris the PSG fans were actually louder, and I think it was actually a very crucial moment in the game, 80th minute, 85th minute, or something like that, and them and their chanting got louder than the actual crowd, which is very rare to see in Anfield. It is true that PSG Ultras actually they do make a lot of sound and they're a pretty vocal bunch, but I don't think this can happen at Anfield. For me there was something lacking with the atmosphere. Maybe somebody who actually went to the game might have a different theory or whatever. But me looking at it in a laptop, that was my first thought. Um, PSG completely outplayed them in both the legs. PSG should have scored more goals. Both are facts. Uh, would it When it went to penalty shootout at Anfield, did it give Liverpool an advantage? Yes. But what people should remember is Allison doesn't have a history of shootouts. I think he has barely been in shootouts his entire career. And with Donnarumma, we all know what he did at Wembley against England. So he has that big advantage when it comes to it. It's all about a very mental thing of, have you gone and won a shootout against a big team in their own backyard or something
Yeah,
like that? And Donnarumma
absolutely.
definitely has it.
Mm.
And that was an advantage. And Darwin Nunes, when he was walking to take that penalty, I think half the people who were watching knew he was going to miss it. So something was off there. Uh,
Well, that's just watching Darwin Nunes play football, Ajay.
yeah,
Let's
it
not
is,
think about
which is pretty sad, to be honest. I know we all laugh at him. It's not like I'm an exception or something like that. It's just sometimes it is very sad when, like, he's a striker that Liverpool paid almost 100 million for, and it's just sad. Like, looking at him, a striker is coming up to take a penalty, and you have zero confidence that he's going to score it, and that is not even as a hardcore fan or something. So imagine being at Anfield and he's walking up. It's just not a good feeling to be him right now. It just, I don't know what they're going to do with him in the summer, but it didn't make for a good viewing on TV and everything. And I don't know if you saw if you saw Salah's reaction when Nunes was walking in Twitter. In Twitter, somebody posted a clip. It was not good. It's as if Salah did not have the confidence either in his own teammate, which is worse than a fan looking at a TV and thinking he's not going to score. So, so so yes, Liverpool have escaped a lot like this, I would say, this season, after being the second best team, even in many of the Premier League games. I'm sure some of the fans will attest to it. Um, they were not going to escape this time. They just were not going to
yeah.
do it.
PSG, they're just too clinical right now.
They're just too
For-
clinical, and I would say they deserve to win in normal
yeah,
time itself. And
yeah.
uh,
When you look at the two legs objectively, like you said,
yeah, did they deserve to? Again, about what I'm saying is, I could be wrong here, but if Liverpool had won the shootout and gone on to pay Aston Villa, I don't think I wouldn't have said that Liverpool are favourites again, because the way
mm,
they played over two legs, knockout football is very different from league football. We have seen teams that finish fifth and sixth in the league be very comfortable in the Champions League and go on
yeah,
to win it. So I wouldn't have fancied if it was Liverpool Villa again. So I wouldn't have fancied for them, Liverpool, to get a like an easy 2-0
mm.
victory or whatever it is.
Especially considering who's at the goalpost, man.
Yeah, who's at the goal post? And Unai Emery has a good history of winning knockout games. So I was just thinking that even if Liverpool had qualified, I felt like there was something off with them, and I wouldn't have
Yeah.
fancied them to event easily in the coming games
Right.
either. So
Okay.
yeah,
See, my 2 cents on Liverpool this season is they have definitely not been, like you pointed out, they have been the second best team in a lot of games. But this is what you label as championship mentality, right? When you're
true, true, true,
playing
true.
god awfully and
Sure,
still
yeah,
walk away with 3 points, still you knock out the other team. That's what Real Madrid is the best
true,
at doing. And
true, true.
Liverpool were kind of pulling that off. So people still didn't know how much of it was down to, Liverpool digging deep and getting a result versus, hey, if they face a big team, can they do it? Because they did pull it off against Real Madrid very convincingly. But personally, this the only reason I've been following Liverpool this season is the whole Salah and Raphinha debate. And I know, like, with the WhatsApp group, the Barca game was over first, and Raphinha had a world class performance. Something, if he carries on, that's definitely worthy of a Ballon d'Or. And when I put out a tweet saying, "Hey, Raphinha and Salah, they're going neck and neck," and it's really nice to see. All of the PL fans in our group got offended. They were like, "Yeah, they played in the same league together. Salah eat Raphinha for breakfast, dude." Raphinha played for Leeds. Salah played for Liverpool. It's not the same.
It's
Uh,
not, again, the see, a lot of things are taken out of context here. Rafinha at Leeds, because of what they were trying to achieve as a team, was also work forced to, probably he was working defensively for like 70%, 80% of the game compared to what he's doing at Barcelona. And he still scored double
yeah,
digit. I think his goals,
thank you.
he scored like 10 plus goals, I think, that season, which is an incredible achievement for somebody playing at an inferior team. Any team that doesn't finish in top 10, that is an incredible achievement to score more than 10 goals a season. And now they will say it, but all the other Premier League cups went for Raphinha too. Before Barcelona got him, everybody was in for Raphinha, and Barcelona eventually got him. So it's not like Barcelona went for a championship player and other Premier League clubs didn't.
That's true.
They
Yeah.
also went for the same
So,
player. They would have paid more than Barca also. Rafinha
mm,
came because Rafinha
actually,
likes
they
Barca.
did.
So
They
that is the
had
truth
agreed
as
a
well.
deal with Chelsea, and
Yeah, true.
Leeds
Chelsea
had to
wanted him. So.
embarrassingly back out of the deal because Rafinha said, "Hey, I'm only going to Barca." Anyway, so he's a world class player. I see some of the criticism thrown at Liverpool fans because Barca have been by far the best club in Europe this season. I say that with a lot of hesitation because it sounds controversial when it should not be. Anyone who has watched the Champions League and La Liga, they can see Barca is miles ahead. They've been winning convincingly, more so than Liverpool. Um, so, in some way,
Funnily, the only time Barca ran like really close in the Champions League was against Benfica, and they got them again in the knockouts, which
that's
is
so.
why I thought it will make for a very interesting
Yeah,
two games because I thought stylistically maybe Benfica is like the antithesis of them, and maybe they could push them.
absolutely. You're spot
So,
on.
that is why I thought. I know people are going to say some team from Portuguese league or whatever, well, like not even top five leagues. So how can you say that? But stylistically, there are some teams like it is one of the reasons why Real Madrid has lost to. They have dropped points against Las Palmas and so many other teams
Oh
this
yeah,
season.
same with Barca as well. We historically struggle against teams that have a lower block. That's why we suck against Atleti. While
True.
Real Madrid stylistically, Atleti is so suited for them to edge out eventually. So no arguments there at all. But I think in a lot of ways, huh, maybe Liverpool finally paid the price. Very loud, annoying fans, and some degree overestimating of their own abilities. Um, it was very conflicting for me. On one hand, you have Raphinha, who has a much clearer path to the Ballon d'Or now, which he really deserves. On the other hand, I had to see PSG go through. The last stream, I said I would give up my career, my job hunt, and whatever if it means PSG and Real Madrid getting knocked out of the UCL this early. And turned out, well, they both go through. But shout out to you as well because you jumped on the PSG resurgence bandwagon. I wouldn't even call it bandwagon, right? Like you are
Dembele resurgence.
the
Dembele resurgence.
resurgence of
I don't know
Dembele.
why. It's just that see, a player scoring one goal in 2 weeks or whatever. I know if he scores 4 goals a month, I know people will say, well, he's in form and all that. I really jumped on him because he was the quantity of goals he was scoring. He has never done that in his entire career, even if it is League One. It's just that he has never assisted like that, never scored goals in the quantity that he was doing at PSG, and it all felt like seeing him play that false nine role. It felt like his career had come full circle because false nine is one of probably the most tactically challenging role to play, and for somebody who has always been criticized for not fully on during the match, not fully focused, and perhaps not looking at teammates always throughout the match to make that final pass or whatever. I think him in that false nine role, consistently finding Barcola on one side and Kvaratskhelia on another side. I feel like life has come a full circle for Dembele, where he is finally freed himself from all the shackles that he himself created. Okay, nobody created that shackle. He created it for him, and now it felt like he has freed himself from it. So that is what it looked like watching
Like,
him play.
who could have imagined Dembele being the captain of the ship at PSG 2 seasons ago when you had, Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar as your trio? He is doing something that they hadn't been able to all these years. And I'm still going to, say that eventually the elephant has to fall off the tree. So
And
it's
they're
only a
waiting for it to fall.
it's only a matter of time before he completely f's up. It could be an open goal, it could be not squaring up to the teammate. I don't know when it's gonna come, how it's gonna come, but I've seen enough of Dembele to know that it's always around the corner. So I just watch
I'm
out
gonna
for
I'm
that.
gonna go against it, and I'm gonna say that I think he has changed. I don't think he's gonna miss an open chance anymore. I don't know.
Wow.
It just feels like he's not going to, at this moment in time watching him play. It feels like he's not going to miss
Yeah.
one of those chances,
Well,
like the
that's a
one that
bold
he did,
statement.
like the one that he did versus Liverpool in 2019, which eventually cost uh, Barcelona the Champions League title. That miss at Camp Nou against the same opponents. Now that is why I feel like in a
Yeah,
lot of ways
that's a full
he has come
circle
a full
point.
circle, because
Yeah,
it feels like it does feels like he has changed and become
yeah.
much more mature. So yeah.
Mm. And Enrique is also somebody who's capable of inculcating that in his players. We have seen him do that in the past. Well, anyway, speaking of Enrique and snakes, let's go home to the snake pit that is FC Barcelona. Um, I didn't think the tie was going to be challenging. I know we got away with a 1-0 win. We played magnificently in that away leg, considering we were a man down for 80 minutes. But once you are back home in front of your crowd and the way that Barca has been flying high, for me, the result was never in doubt. So I think we eventually ended up winning 3-1. So to no one's surprise there. I
I don't think anybody fancied Benfica to win this game, to be honest. But it's just the manner in which Barcelona won again, the manner in which
Yeah.
Yamal played,
It's just
manner
the
in which
last two games. Like you pointed out, those two results were probably our most difficult wins this season. I know we have dropped a few meaningless points here and there. Sorry, few meaningful points against irrelevant teams here and there. But for hard fought victories, I don't think anything else comes close. Like our 4-5 win and our uh, 0-1 win, both away at Benfica. Um, Lamine Yamal, it feels criminal to compare him to Lionel Messi for obvious reasons, no matter what he does. But at some point, hey, does it start to make sense now? I don't even mean in terms of his end output, but the sheer fact that as a team, how important he is to this club, how many big goals he has already scored, not just for Barca, he did it for Spain against France of all teams, and the way he can single handedly change the game. So, a lot of it is very messiest for me. I know it's undue pressure on a teenager, but he keeps asking for it in a lot of ways.
yeah, yeah. It just it's not even the kind of goals that he is scoring right now. It's just that feels like everybody is very excited to just watch him play, just
Yeah.
watch him just come to the pitch and play. It doesn't matter if he's assisting or scoring goals anymore. And I say this as a Real Madrid fan. It feels like we all just wanna watch him dribble,
Yeah.
just watch him show his skill set,
Mm,
just watch him just go through his daily
yeah.
routine, which is playing football. So like it doesn't. I'm not counting any of the goals. I don't know how many goals he has scored this season. I
Yeah.
don't know how many goals he has
Even I
assisted this
have no
season.
idea. Yeah.
It just feels like we all complain that, oh, football has lost a bit of its old charm, Baron.
Mm,
We don't worry about stats and we just want to watch a player play. I think all of us would pay to watch Yamal play, irrespective
yeah.
of whether he scores a goal, irrespective of whether he's chasing a record or whatever. I think everything has gone out of the window. We just all just want to watch him play. This is a huge
Mm,
credit for a 17-year-old. For 17, there is no point in criticizing him. There's just no point in finding out a flaw in his game or whatever, because the answer is going to be he probably has 20 years left in his career to to work on any of the weakness that he has. I don't know what weakness he has, to be honest, but whatever people are going to complain, he has 20 years to work on it. It
Man,
feels
this
like so.
coming
So
from a Real Madrid fan, I don't think I could have put it across any better.
yeah, this is the
So,
I don't know. I'm sometimes lost for words, that just watching him play and some of the goals that he has scored. It's just I don't know how to describe it. There's no explanation for a 17-year-old doing it. It is true that there are so many 17-year-olds coming through right now, 17, 18-year-olds. Just it's probably a lot of footballers who are getting a due earlier than what they would have done 20 years ago, 30 years ago, or whatever, because that would take an under 19 team, and then that jump to senior team 20 years ago. But right now teams are willing to push a 17 or 18-year-old into the spotlight, and that is because players like Yamal exist. That is because of players like him that everybody's going to take the risk. And a 17-year, I'm pretty sure more 17-year-olds are going to get a chance, like in the next season or whatever, because purely because he excels and plays football. That's it. So
Amazing, man. I think that's a beautiful note to end our coverage of the UCL round of 16 review. I think both of us have our work cut out for us. Very straightforward games, both for Real Madrid against Arsenal. They should go through, and I'm counting on Barca to go through, considering we are playing Dortmund. We have also gotten lucky that
can I
both
can I say
Benfica and
something?
yeah,
Just in the stream we mentioned that there are many teams that have finished 8th, ninth, and won the Champions League. Dortmund are 10th in Bundesliga. In Bundesliga they are 10th
yeah,
this season, and a lot of us blame Bundesliga for what it is as a league, and they are 10th. If they beat Barcelona, none of us should ever open our mouths about any other league, because that means all our knowledge is net zero
yeah,
about if Dortmund by any chance beat Barcelona. I'm not gonna talk about any league ever in my life again. I'm just gonna stick to La Liga and Premier League, uh, and we have seen teams do it at 8th, ninth, and 10th. It's not going to be easy for them against
all right.
Barcelona. But
All
I'm
right,
just
first leg
just saying.
predictions for your
Sorry?
team. Let's do Real Madrid Arsenal. First leg predictions.
First leg is at Emirates, right?
Yes,
Hmm.
I have to look up their
2-1,
map.
2-1, 2-1 to Arsenal. I'm going 2-1 to Arsenal. We will win. We will win in Bernabeu anyway. So one goal lead is not big, but I have a feeling, I don't know, Arsenal could conjure something in Emirates this season, and it feels like Ancelotti is not going to try anything different. He's just going to try the same team, Valverde right back, same tactics and everything. And I
That's
don't think
little bold, man. 2-1 to Arsenal.
I
All
think
right,
I
so
think they could.
we also play. We play at home actually in the first leg. I'm gonna say 3-1 to Barca. So
You'll
say
score three goals. I can assure you. You'll score three goals. I don't know how much Dortmund will score.
average all season we have been doing that. It's a matter of do we concede 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stick with 3-1. All right, let's come back to this. A lot of embarrassing predictions from all of us last time. Kind of reminds you why we watch football. Like when
Yeah,
you
yeah,
wake
yeah.
up
We
on
should.
the day of the game, anything could happen.
I'll
That's
be
the
I'll be
beauty.
the happiest if we end up winning final instead. So and my prediction goes horribly wrong. So
Of
yeah, I
course.
wanted to go wrong. So we'll see.
Right. All right. Thank you for watching.